So you now know conduction, you know convection, but never ever make the mistake of writing. Never ever make the mistake of writing that convection happens in solid. So we go back to our initial diagram once again, and we try to understand now what all portion we have learned in that diagram and what all portion in that diagram is yet to be learned. So this was our saucepan, which had a metallic handle. Over the metallic handle, we had a bakelite piece of handle on it. अब जरा इस diagram को फिर से देखते हैं, right? So we had heat out here. So this gets heated up. This gets heated. When this gets heated, this is due to conduction. Okay. Any doubt? Let me know. ये भी क्या हो जाएगा? Conduction. This does not get heated because this is an insulator. Have you understood? Right? Conduction is always the heat that flows in a solid. Conduction is always the heat that flows without movement of the solid. Without the movement. And conduction के लिए कौन responsible रहता है? Free electrons. And since this is a metal, so you have abundant free electrons. और यहाँ पे free electrons जो है नहीं होता. So this does not get heated. Another way of heating is known as lattice vibration. Lattice vibration is actually a slow mode of heat transfer. So lattice vibration does take place in insulator also. Insulator also after some time will have heat, but that heat is, suppose you have boiled say eggs for last 20 minutes in this vessel. The insulator is still not that hot that you can't hold it, but you can't think of even holding this handle. Clear? Then we look into the water that we had taken. The water got heated. Anna, this water got heated. This is due to convection. Are you understanding? Clear? Convection is happening due to a current. Hot one is rising up and cold one is coming down. ये clear हो गया? अच्छा, अब आता है यहाँ पे आपका scenario. You also start feeling the heat. Now we are going to study this part. You are also starting to feel the heat. This heat that you start to feel is known as radiation, either from this garam vessel or from the heated source, or say you are inside a house and we have taken away sunlight. Now we are going to see, we talk about the third mode of heat transfer, which is known as radiation. Are we ready? This part we are going to study. Okay. Radiation को समझने से पहले, before you start radiation, you need to understand a little bit more about the sun. This is the sun, and whenever you are getting, say, sunlight, you now need not think it about only as sunlight. You should think it as the EMS. Whether your book says about it or doesn't say about it, you should know it. EMS. EMS stands for the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, the electromagnetic spectrum. Whenever you're seeing from the sun, this is your sun. And the electromagnetic spectrum, to remember it easily, is, I say, follow that rhyme, Gadi X UV in my range. This is the best way to remember the electromagnetic spectrum of the sun. Gadi stands for gamma rays. Okay, then you have got X rays. This will help you waves also. So jaan lo, this is ultraviolet or ultraviolet as you say. This is infrared. Infrared. Then comes microwave. And then comes radio wave. Okay, radio wave. And all that you are so fascinated seeing as light is that light actually travels from here, यहाँ से R, और इस बीच में बाकी सब है. This is the VIBGYOR. Your naked eye makes you look only into this. This is what you see with your naked eye. With your naked eye, you only see this much portion, and you call this as light. समझ में आ रहा है? This is called light. Now we'll also plot it under two things. One is called the frequency, and another will be the wavelength. Okay, the frequency and the wavelength. So the frequency is high on this side, and the frequency is low on this side. Whereas the wavelength is low on this side, and the wavelength is high on this side. This is the wavelength. and this is frequency. So if you talk about radio waves, their wavelengths are almost bigger than football fields. इतने बड़े बड़े हैं एक radio wave का wavelength. Okay, and if you multiply these two quantities anytime, that is frequency multiplied by wavelength. Wavelength is denoted by, ये waves chapter में आएगा तो अभी से थोड़ा जान लो. Wavelength is denoted by the Greek letter. This is known as lambda. LAMBDA. अब आपका Cambridge बोलता है नहीं बोलता है lambda, and lambda is written as like this, lambda. So lambda into frequency gives you the C, which is known as the speed of light. Speed of light. Have you understood? It's called speed of light. Gamma rays, they are extremely energetic. The more is the frequency, the more is the energy. Gamma rays can penetrate even inside concrete. X-rays, ये सब side cancer है, बस इतना जान के रखो. X-rays can penetrate your bones. Ultraviolet cannot penetrate, but equally cancerous. उसके बाद आता है आपका light, which you are able to see with your eyes. And what is the speed of light? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. The speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Speed of gamma rays, speed is same. See children, the interesting thing about it, gamma rays की speed भी 3 into 10 to the power 8. X-rays also travel at 3 into 10 to the power 8. Ultraviolet 3 into 10 to the power 8. That means what is varying? Frequency and this. Everybody is 6, 6, 6, 6. Somebody is 1 into 6. Somebody is 2 into 6, 3. Somebody is 3 into 2. Somebody is 6 into 1. समझ में आ रहा है मैजिक? ठीक है? इसके बाद आता है infrared. IR. Infrared is all your remote controls and other thing. ये सब infrared में काम करता है. Any hot object emits infrared. You get inside a room and I make this room dark and I have kept one garam kadhai in the kitchen. And you get inside the kitchen, even in the dark kitchen, you will say there is some hot object nearby. How are you sensing it? Infrared rays are coming. And that is what signature you will be releasing. When you go to the urinals or you go to the washroom in all these malls and all, how does that sensor start pouring the water when you put your hand in front of the tap? It's got an IR sensor. Our body ka temperature, every one of us are emitting IRs. That's why during COVID and other things, in airports and all, they will ask you to walk through the sensor. They won't use the thermometer because I can't put the thermometer in everybody's mouth. So I'll make you walk through a IR sensor. So the IR sensor will immediately give a thermal signature of my body. If I'm at a normal temperature, एक signature रहेगा. If I'm suffering from fever and say the temperature has gone up, the signature will come different. So that way you can detect whether that person is having fever or not. ऐसे ही तो airport में अलग कर देते हैं ना, quarantine. You are no more going to your house. Or the COVID में जो the gun thermometers that you were using, what is that doing? It's sensing. It's an IR. It's an IR sensor. It just senses what is the IR that you are leaving. Infrared. Okay. After that comes micro. Micro is responsible for all sorts of communication. All the cellular communication that we are having. Everything that you watch, Tata Sky, Dish TV, Airtel, everything is happening out here. Again, if you multiply, say, star plus frequency with its wavelength, you should get this value, and you will get. And if you multiply All India Radio Delhi's frequency with its particular wavelength, you will get this. 100%. मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. If you multiply what you call this, we've done for a CBSE student. You take BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, you take their frequency, you multiply their wavelength, you'll get this value. 100% it has to match. What we are interested in radiation is that radiation is a mode of heat transfer which does not need any medium. The first example is the earth getting heated by the sun. The sun is far, far away from us. It takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to reach us. Generally about 7 to 8 minutes, right? And it is coming all through the space. Space does not have any medium. उसमें कोई medium नहीं है कि आप convection करोगे. There's nothing in space. So radiation is a mode of heat transfer which does not need any sort of medium. If you have medium, fine. So you getting heated from a hot karai or a tandoor which is there in this room, and we make this room dark, yet we are able to sense that heat. That is because there is huge amount of heat being transmitted by radiation, and some, if I keep standing there, some convection will also be there. I can sense the hot air will come to me. But you immediately going, suppose you are doing a walk after dinner at night in and around on a hot day, and there are people at ground floor who have their air conditioners right outside their wall. Don't you start feeling hot as you start walking Or else even in our Pebble City, start you walking behind L and K towers right now in the month of November, you suddenly feel cold. Again, and come on this side, you start feeling hot. Why? It's all because of the infrared radiation that is coming up. So why we study this part? This part is to be studied because radiation, जो भी हम पढ़ने वाले हैं, radiation is all due to infrared light. Please understand. Whatever we are going to study will be, you'll hear a lot about IR in this chapter. So what is IR? I wanted you to understand. IR is the portion which is responsible for you sensing heat. So when the sunlight falls on you and you say that I am feeling hot, you are not feeling hot because of VIBGYOR. You are feeling hot because of the infrared ray part, red. समझ में आ रहा है? Many people who suffer from back pain and arthritis, Philips has got a device called the infrared equipment. What they will do, you are supposed to take that equipment, plug it onto electricity, लाल हो जाता है, उसी को आपको अपने कमर में देते रहना चाहिए. So what is it emitting? IR. Any hot thing is always red. देख के देखो ना. A soldering iron becomes hot. You take your small pen, you take your pen knife and you heat it. Switch off the light. Doesn't it become red? It is emitting IR. Are you fine? But if the object is hot, I'm just building your concept. If the object is hot, it will also emit ultraviolet. And if it is super hot, we will also see light through it. If I heat a piece of iron or a piece of wood and I go on heating it, won't it catch fire? Light दिखेगा ना हमें? अरे fire है तो light नहीं दिख रहा है क्या तुम्हें? What is fire? Light दिख रहा है ना? Then glows. Initially the glow will be all red. After that you will see blue and other glow also coming up. Look at a bulb. How is a bulb glowing? Why is the bulb giving you white light? Because the bulb's filament is burning, as simple as that. So if an object is hot, the object not only emits infrared, but the object will also emit ultraviolet and the object will also emit light. My idea of making you understand this diagram is that not that this diagram we are going to read only in this chapter first, we're going to read this diagram later also. When you see the sun, please take away that concept now being grade 9 and grade 10 students कि sun gives us sunlight. वो बच्चे बोलते हैं sun does not give you sunlight, sun gives you something called the electromagnetic spectrum of the sun. And the entire world's communication to everything is happening in this sunlight only. जिस दिन sunlight बंद हो गया, ना कोई cellular technology चलेगा, ना कुछ भी चलेगा. अच्छा खाना कैसे बनाते हैं? खाना also is cooked in this microwave. There you are generating electromagnetic waves with the magnetron of that particular microwave oven. Therefore, whenever a microwave oven gets bad, the mechanic will come and tell you, Madam, magnetron kharab ho gaya. What is magnetron? It's like a cyclotron. It is generating electromagnetic waves inside it in such frequency which is useful for cooking. Understood? This chapter will not consider this side, will not consider this side. In this chapter, we will be talking a lot on this part, but a predominant part of our discussion will be on IR. So my dear children, do you now understand what is IR? When the sun shines bright, you just don't get sunlight, you are getting electromagnetic spectrum, and that spectrum starts from Gari XUV in my range. Remember like that. Or if you want to remember by your formula, you remember gamma, X-rays, ultraviolet. So light is always VIBGYOR. V ka is taraf mein ultra, R ka is side mein infra. Our naked eye can only see this portion. And to some extent, our naked eye, our body can sense this. Your body cannot sense ultraviolet. You can't sense ultraviolet. You can sense infrared and you can see light. Is that clear? Understood? And the more hot an object is, hot means infrared, infrared, infrared. Therefore, कोई भी ठंड गर्म चीज कभी भी violet नहीं होता है, लाल होता है. Give a tight slap on somebody's face. Does it get heated up? Yes. Does the cheek turn red? Anything that is hot is always red in color. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. तो ये जानना जरूरी था. ये आपका बुक इतना डीप में नहीं बताता है, पर मैंने सोचा आपको जानना चाहिए. So now we talk about radiation. Radiation is the third mode of heat transfer, where heat is coming from a source. Heat is being transmitted from a source to a body, right? And you do not need any medium. You do not need any medium. That is the first basic understanding of radiation. That mode of heat transfer, when heat is transferred from a source to a body, obviously source has to be at higher temperature, body has to be at lower temperature. This is how physics goes. Agar body higher temperature mein rahega to ulta heat jayega. The flow of heat, that does not mean that during this flow conduction convection may not take place. Who knows, ye aadmi isko chhu diya, aapne kadhai ko chhu diya, conduction bhi hai. आप कढ़ाई के पास खड़े हो, थोड़ा सा कन्वेक्शन भी है, बट वी हैव लर्नड अबाउट कन्वेक्शन एंड कंडक्शन, सो कीप देम असाइड. डू वी स्टिल सेंस हीट? यस, वी डू सेंस हीट. Forget the karhai and replace it by the sun. Replace this by the sun and replace it this body with you. Do you feel hot or not when you stand under the sun? Is there a medium between you and the sun? To the extent of atmosphere. After that, there is no medium. Then how is the sun transferring heat? Therefore, the portion of responsible for that heat is nothing but infrared rays. And since the sun is hot, a little bit of heat will also be brought in by light and ultraviolet, but this portion will be negligible. This is more responsible. And once infrared radiation has been spoken to you, infrared radiation का मतलब ही है कि ये है electromagnetic wave. And electromagnetic waves are those waves which do not need any medium to get transferred. We have got two type of waves. सब कुछ connected है. क्या क्या? Mechanical waves and electromagnetic waves. Mechanical waves are those waves which need medium to transfer. जैसे मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूं, sound travels through the air molecules. Both of us kidnapped and taken to moon. Can I talk to you? No. I need radio sets to talk to you. Why radio set? Because my voice is now converted into a electromagnetic radiation. We are on moon, and in moon electromagnetic radiations can travel. So sun से gamma rays आ सकता है, बिल्कुल आ सकता है, because from the sun to your body there will be a region which is known as vacuum space. Can a mechanical wave travel through vacuum? No. That's why we say light travels through vacuum. Sound does not travel through vacuum because sound is a mechanical wave. Light is a electromagnetic wave. But light is one member among that entire spectrum family. उसमें तो और भी भाई बहन हैं. Gamma, X-rays, ultraviolet, visible light, infrared, microwave, radio waves. This chapter talks only about infrared. Is it now getting clear now? Radiation is a mode of heat transfer in which heat is transferred from one body to another body, and during that transfer no medium is required. The heat transfer is precisely due to infrared radiations being emitted by the hot body. Every hot body emits infrared radiation. जो भी मैं बोल रहा हूं इसको आप नोट करो, बाद में सुनो जो भी है. These are important. Every hot body emits infrared radiation, and if the body is extremely hot, it will also emit ultraviolet and light. Obviously understood. Is my hand hot now? I can feel the heat if you bring it near to me. It is emitting infrared radiation. सोल्डरिंग आयरन को गर्म करो और हाथ उसके पास लाओ, गर्म फील हो जाता है ना, छूने की जरूरत नहीं है. इंफ्रारेड रेडिएशन. And if you go on heating this soldering rod without any control or thermostat, it will become ultra hot. So it will emit light and it will also emit ultraviolet radiation. अगरबत्ती ले लो, अगरबत्ती जलता है तो ग्लो करता है, लाइट भी दे रहा है, ज्यादा लाल लाइट ही देता है. ठीक है, ये समझ में आया? Transfer of heat, the mode of this is the third mode of transfer of heat in which heat is transferred from one body to another body, that is from hot body to cold body, in which there is no medium responsible. So first of all, in order, rather than studying from a karhai or a frying pan and heat to me, there maybe the radiation component is less, convection might be more. Aaj garmi hai, there is air between me and that tandoor. So I am feeling heat not only due to radiation, I am feeling heat due to convection also, because that air is getting hotter and hotter. So understanding radiation from that example will not be perfect. We will understand radiation from the example of how Earth is getting heated from the sun. Clear? चलिए आइए उसको देखते हैं अभी. If you have any issues, do stop me. Okay. So this is my sun. Okay, this is sun. So sunlight is now falling on our planet Earth. ठीक है? and ये मेरा अर्थ है, this is my earth, say this is earth. So let's take the rays. Okay, let's take the rays. So sun rays are falling on earth. Three things happen out here. Earth will reflect some, there will be absorption, and there are various particles or body or objects on the earth. There will also be transmission. ये दोनों तीनों चीजों को सीखते हैं. देखा, this is the falling sunlight. This is the falling sunlight. So a part will be reflected, a part will be absorbed, and a part will also be transmitted. Do you understand now? A part will be reflected. The earth will reflect. Earth will reflect means some portion, some body or something on the earth, they will reflect. Every body will reflect some heat, will absorb some heat, and will transmit. Transmit means if you are, say, suppose transparent or translucent, ये sunlight तो किसी के खिड़की में भी गिरा होगा ना, so it will transmit, किसी और एक body की तरफ transmit कर देगा. It will allow the heat to pass through it. That is called transmission. Have you understood this or not? Okay. Now when the falling sunlight को धीरे से sunlight को काट के हम क्या बोल देंगे? Infrared. Infrared is coming to you, light is coming to you, and ultraviolet is coming to you. ठीक है? इस रेडिएशन से अब नेक्स्ट चीज हम देखते हैं. नाउ द अमाउंट ऑफ हीट दैट विल बी जनरेटेड, अर्थ का टेम्परेचर बढ़ना स्टार्ट करेगा. ओके, द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द अर्थ विल स्टार्ट गोइंग अप. दैट विल डिपेंड अपॉन हाउ मच हीट द अर्थ इज अब्सॉर्बिंग. वी मे नीड वन मोर क्लास टू फिनिश दिस, बट इसको इंटरेस्टिंग वे में सोचो. अगर अर्थ हीट ज्यादा एब्सॉर्ब करेगा और रिफ्लेक्ट कम करेगा, so don't you think the earth should stay warm? Yes. All these happen due to greenhouse effect and all what we will study at that time. So in every body, to maintain a proper temperature, what it should be, to maintain a proper temperature, there should be a rate of absorption and a rate of reflection. We will not call it rate of reflection. Slowly we will study something called heat emission also. Heat absorption, heat emission. Everybody who absorbs heat will also emit heat. ये भी कहानी आगे आएगा. अब धीरे धीरे our story will go. Light has fallen on you. What I say, infrared rays have fallen on you. So you are going to absorb. You will also do something which is known as emit. Absorption, emission. If the rate of absorption is more than the rate of emission, don't you think your temperature should rise up? आप खाना ज्यादा खाते हो, कैलोरीज कम बर्न करते हो, तो आपका वेट गेन होगा. Simple is. If the rate of emission is more than the rate of absorption, then what it should be? Your temperature should cool down. Simple physics. You are burning more calories than you are eating. That's what all these gym trainers say. You should have calorie deficit, calorie deficit. What is calorie deficit? जितना calories आपको चाहिए, minimum calorie demand, energy demand we say, you eat less than that. Suppose I am Motu. So how to reduce the fat immediately? That's not the right way. I have to maintain this mass of the body. I have a minimum energy requirement. Don't you think? Say I need 2000 joules of energy. So calories में convert कर लीजिए. And you start feeding me half of that calories. You start feeding me. My body still needs. That means my power requirement is more, and Telangana power is not giving me power. So what should I do? Generator चलाना पड़ेगा ना. तो body का fats burn होना शुरू होता है. The generator is feeding my power. ऐसा करते करते जिम ट्रेनर्स डू दैट ओनली. स्लोली 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 you read, and then what happens after some time? Your body becomes lean. Lot of people left this apartment. Is the power requirement that much now? No. Now if Telangana gives you less power also, आराम से एसी चला के आप सो रहे हो क्योंकि आपका बॉडी हल्का हो गया. This chapter will then talk about emission of radiation, absorption of radiation. So that's where we are going. ठीक है? So radiation, infrared radiation, all this have you understood? Okay, so now what will happen is that every object you will find does not absorb the same amount of energy. Every object does not, what you call, emit the same amount. Everybody's absorption and emission rates are different. One thing that comes into this discussion is that if you have a dark color, a dark color absorbs more heat. As simple as that. A dark color absorbs more heat. That's why if you go to Europe, जहां बहुत ठंडा होता है, जैसे countries like Austria or countries like Czechoslovakia, you take a drone shot of that country. How do you see their roof colors? Blue, green, orange, yellow, pink, and all these colors. वहीं अगर आप if you come to India and all, why do you see our Pebble City white in color? We should not absorb more. Already we are hot. Similarly, in Europe, if you start traveling towards Spain, if you come towards Spain and all, Spain means you are almost coming near to Africa. Yes or no? समझ में आ रहा है? तो स्पेन मतलब आप अफ्रीका के आसपास आ गए हो. स्पेन आते आते घरों का कलर देखो तो व्हाइट व्हाइट कलर के घर दिखेंगे आपको. Those are all white. The reason is the white color does not absorb that much of heat. So black color absorbs more heat. So in order to understand that, there is an example. Now this radiation हो गया, इससे ज़्यादा और discussion हम नहीं करते. What is radiation? The mode of heat transfer in which heat is transferred from one body to another body without the help of any medium. Such heat is transferred mainly due to the transmission of infrared radiation. And infrared radiation is emitted by any object which is hot. And if the object is very hot, apart from infrared radiation, it will also emit light and ultraviolet radiation. Remember that. Sun is an extremely hot item. The sun gives you all three of them. That does not mean that the karhai left hot in that kitchen also is emitting ultraviolet. No, it is emitting infrared. And infrared radiation देखने के लिए आपको आंख नहीं चाहिए. You just sense it. Walk beside any hot object, you are able to sense it. You are sensing it because of the IR signature. समझ में आया? Night vision देखते हो? Night vision. These army goggles and night vision works on IR signature only. How are you sensing night vision? By radiation. Clear हुआ? So अब radiation के बाद अभी आपका object now goes into the next topic of discussion, that is good absorbers and bad absorbers. So as I said, as infrared rays fall on any body, say along with some sort of ultraviolet and also with light, there will be some bit of absorption, there will be reflection, there will be transmission. इन दोनों को इतना नहीं देखते हैं हम. We are going to talk about this because on this will depend the temperature of the body. What is the temperature of the body? Heat absorbed, Q equal to mc delta T. आप जितना Q absorb करोगे, C is fixed for the body. That much would be the rise in temperature of your body. So when we talk about absorbers, you have got two type of absorbers. We say you can be either a good absorber, okay, or you can be something which is known as a bad absorber. Now I told you that all dark colors are good absorbers of heat. Any dark color, that's why you see jackets, cardigans and all these things are made up of dark color. Summers में आप dark color पहन के घूमते हो क्या? नहीं घूमते हैं. Because if you roam in summers in dark color, you will feel more hot. A dark color absorbs more heat. The experiment for this is very simple. What they have done, they have taken a heated element in your book. There's a heat. This is a heated element, okay? A heating coil. This is a heating coil, and they have put two tin sheets out here. Tin. One side of the sheet, what they have done, they have made it black in color. This is black coated, and this is coated. This is uncoated. So this is, say, the shiny one. And they have put some coin out here, and they have fixed the coin with paraffin. Paraffin means wax. और यहाँ पे coin रख दिया है, one coin. Have you understood? Coin को paraffin से लगा दिया. पहले लगा लिया, लेके ये tray. Both the trays are of equal size, equal material, same material, equal distance. That means what do I understand? That the heat dissipation to both the should be the same amount of heat is getting dissipated. Means this coil is radiating same amount of heat to both. हमें देखने में क्या आएगा? यहाँ पे भी एक coin रहेगा, and we have got coin, and the coin is fixed with here with the help of wax. After some time, you will see this coin पटक से melt करके नीचे गिर जाएगा. Why did it melt? Must be the temperature sensed by the paraffin was sufficient enough to melt the paraffin. Why did the temperature in the paraffin go up? That means the temperature in this sheet went up. Means this sheet must have absorbed more heat. This is a clear example that if you have a darker body, the dark body absorbs more radiation. क्या रे इतना हंसी आ रहा है तुमको? तब से आधा हंस रहे हो, रुक रहे हो. Okay, the dark body will actually absorb more radiation. Is this much clear? कुछ तो है. She is also laughing. You are also laughing. Is there something? He is also laughing. If there is something, then share. See, I'm not angry on it. Otherwise, it makes me think what, that either you are laughing something on me. I start getting cautious. Is there something? No. Is there something I am doing wrong? I'm not angry at all. I'm saying if there is something, share. See, I always share. If there is something of humor, you can share. Otherwise, you laughing and not laughing, controlling, it means something. Huh? That's what I'm saying. Either है तो बोल ना खोल के, सब लोग हंसते हैं. अरे तो अकेला खाली तब से हंस रहा है जब से मैं रेडिएशन के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ. आप तभी से हंस रहे, अभी से नहीं हंस रहे हो. जब से मैं बोला ब्लैक बॉडी एब्जॉर्ब मैक्सिमम रेडिएशन, तो तब से हंस रहा है. तो ऐसा क्या? मेरा भी रेडिएशन ज्यादा ही एब्जॉर्ब होता है. मैं भी ब्लैक हूँ, डार्क होने से क्या होता है, मुझे गर्मी ज्यादा लगता है. दैट्स व्हाई आई ऑलवेज से when people switch off, turn off air conditioners, I always say please air conditioner should be turned on. मैं heat absorbing ज्यादा है, ऊपर से मैं ब्लैक ज्यादा, डार्क ज्यादा पहनता हूँ, तो शायद और ज्यादा डार्क. ये हुआ. और क्या चीज हंसी आ रहा है इसके ऊपर? इसको गर्मी ज्यादा लगता है. ये कहाँ गर्मी है, तो हुडी पहन के घूमता है हमेशा. ये तो उल्टा है. He is the first dark object which does not absorb heat. इसको मैं गर्मियों में भी हुडी डाल के घूमते देखता हूँ. इसको कहाँ गर्मी है? ये तो उल्टा है. ये समझ में आया? We are talking about good absorbers and bad absorbers. तो आपको यहाँ पे क्या मिला? डार्क कलर. इससे आपको क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं, like why are roofs of houses in colder regions generally made dark in color? Do you get an idea when I say if you take a aerial view of a city like say Austria, Vienna, Prague, in Czechoslovakia or Czechia as we say, आपको उन कंट्री, मिंक्स जानते हैं ना, एक कंट्री कैपिटल है, बेलग्रेड, ये सब को ऊपर से देखने से उन कंट्री के छतों को आपने देखा रेड, पिंक, ब्लू ऐसा टाइप रहता है, बिकॉज दे नीड मोर हीट टू बी अब्सॉर्ब. ठंड में मरते हैं वो लोग. हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसे कलर नहीं हो सकता है. हमारे यहाँ पे व्हाइट कलर, गिरदारी इज लाइट कलर्ड, पेबल सिटी इज लाइट कलर्ड. व्हाई? बिकॉज यू कैन एब्सॉर्ब सो मच ऑफ हीट, यू नीड हीट. तो ये क्लियर हुआ. तो डल, सो वी से डार्क कलर, सो इन अदर वेज विल से डल एंड डार्क. डल एंड डार्क में भी ऐसा रहता है. मैट, यू नो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन मैट एंड ग्लॉसी? गर्ल्स तो यू मस्ट बी नोइंग, लिपस्टिक जैसे मैट एंड ग्लॉसी होता है, फोटोग्राफ्स मैट एंड ग्लॉसी. ग्लॉसी मींस एनीथिंग दैट शाइंस, मैट मींस मैट कलर, मैट फिनिश. जैसे ये मैट फिनिश है, मैट इज अ डल फिनिश. तो डल एंड डार्क will always absorb more and more amount of heat. Have you understood? Okay, so how many of you have seen refrigerators which have got a grill on the back side? थोड़ा पुराना रेफ्रिजरेटर जिसमें ग्रिल होता है. Have you seen that grill? That grill is always black in color. Why is it black in color? A refrigerator is supposed, that is called a heat exchanger fin. That is the heat exchanger fin. उसमें like when we had refrigerators in childhood, my dad used to tell me, hey, shock खाएगा. Thinking that grill they used to see some current is going through. No, it's not current. It is basically a heat exchanger fin. The job of the grill is what? To evacuate more and more heat from the refrigerator and to throw it to the outside. So how do they throw it? One is they have to absorb more. To absorb more, that grill is made black in color. And so that it radiates more, we have made it in just like the darshan in a temple. How do you make the queue? As much as you can accommodate. So you have spread the whole heat. And when I started learning about these things, I used to do what, after coming and playing with my t-shirt, football khel ke aaya na, I used to take my t-shirt and put it behind the refrigerator. And my father used to scold me, say, hey, shock kha ke marega kabhi. I said, shock nahi khayega. That is a heat exchanger. That is going to dry my t-shirt. But again, I'm doing a wrong thing. By drying my t-shirt, I'm making it release the heat. No, it should absorb more and more heat from this. So ये भी एक idea है. In fact, many people use it. These are common senses. Like the grill of the refrigerator can be used to dry your small things like handkerchief वगैरह आप सुखा सकते हो आराम से. But nowadays you don't get refrigerators with grill. You get it with a flat back. Is this understood? Our next topic. चलो next topic करते करते तुम घड़ी देखोगे. Next topic will be about good and bad emitters. Emitter. This is about heat absorption. Just will not discuss. We'll discuss in next class. But just understand. Have you seen some cars being parked outside where certain people have got a very shiny like a film that they put? This is very common in Delhi and Mumbai. When you park your car in open in Delhi during say peak summers and you have parked it in open right under sunlight. So what they do, they will have a small roll, जैसे आपका ट्रांसपेरेंट रोल होता है ना किचन में, शाइनी एक रोल रहता है, that shiny roll will be put on the windscreen. ऐसा क्यों? अब आप देखोगे शाइनी वाला जो चीज है ना, it does not absorb. The shiny color does not absorb. यहाँ पे आपने वही देखा ना, the dull one absorbs more, the shiny one does not absorb. So if you make it shiny, see, if you allow the light to pass through the glass and get onto the dashboard, these are all dark. Our seat covers are all dark. So more the car will get heated up. Instead, what you do, you put a shiny surface right on the windscreen. This is very common. Even Amazon, if you go and Google windshield shiny, it showed. You're just about to put it like a curtain. Then when you come back at 1 o'clock, when you come at 1 o'clock and you sit inside the car, the first thing you find is that everything has become like a tandoor. Sitting on the car, you feel piche jal gaya pura 1 minute mein. Have you sensed that heat or not? It's very, very hot. Suppose in childhood, if you have gone to school and all, and your parents or somebody have come to pick you up, and you are wearing either skirt or shorts, बैठ के ही आप जलना शुरू. Two wheelers में आप बैठ ही नहीं सकते हो. Why? They're all dark seats. They've absorbed as much of heat. So in cars we have that thing. Shiny वाला चीज लगा देते हैं. Shiny वाला absorb नहीं करता है. अब आप आगे जो पढ़ने वाले हो वो आप emission नहीं पढ़ोगे. अब आप पढ़ोगे, sorry, not this thing. You are going to study about something called emission. Emission means, as a body, do I emit heat? Yes. Every one of us are emitting an IR signature. Our next study should be, who emits more IR signature, a dull body or a shiny body? ये हम अगले क्लास में देखेंगे. इतना समझ में आया? बहुत अच्छी बात है. मैंने कोशिश किया है. अगर आपको नहीं आया, then you can again read or see video till here and get back.